All right, guys, what's going on? This isn't something that I'm gonna do every single week, but I wanted to do like a raw thoughts review because I was just on Twitter and Vince Russo was like going on a bit of a tangent when he saw just how bad this show was made. So, if there's any way I can like share the quote here, I'm still trying to get StreamYard all taken care of, but in the meantime, I got my co-host Joan of Smark here. We need to come up with some sort of like permanent name for you, man. I mean,
I
I've
need
been
to
Spike
figure that
Shooter
out at
for
some
like
point.
I've been Spike Shooter for like 5 years now, so uh, it's a I think. Are you gonna just try to like do different types of like names until something sticks for you?
That'll probably work. I'll eventually find something, but I'm fine with what I got for now, at least.
Yeah, it's kind of like Righty always like coming up with different names. By the way, apparently the Smart Busters did come out with a new fan fiction related video with Trap Queen. I still am kind of on the fence on if that is actually very entertaining, but I still watch it. I'm like trying to figure out, is this something I'm supposed to be laughing with, or just feel so sad because these are the people watching wrestling these days?
I mean, I watched the first, I think, two. I think I'm like an episode or two behind, but just the fact that Seth Rollins is like pregnant in it and everyone's like super empowered that he's pregnant, it just
Yeah,
is crazy. And the fact
yeah.
that the people watching it are somehow the ones dictating what is considered wrestling. It's like, no, you don't even know what you're doing. You're like making men pregnant and empowering each other, and it's just bad.
So I'm gonna do my best Vince Russo impression here to talk about the tangent he went on while this show was going on. He goes, "Enough holding back, bro. As the author of the WWE Attitude Era, along with Ed Fiera, WWE creative, bro, you should be embarrassed with the show you put out weekly, bro. From Vince McMahon down, bro. A 5-year-old could copy paste every week, bro. You've destroyed something the entire world once enjoyed." Was that good enough?
I think that got the message clear.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the best impressionist, but sometimes people will say that I do all right. But if I did a great one, just comment down below and we'll see if it goes from there. But there was one more that he said. He said, "Vince McMahon, where is your pride, bro? I don't care if networks are paying you $100 billion. What about the fans, bro? You and your team creative aren't even trying, bro. Same cut and paste shit every week, bro. Man, what happened to that bravado you taught me about? The WWE fans deserve better, bro." I still don't know how to do screen sharing, honestly, but I'm still new to the StreamYard stuff, so just bear with me, guys. So I'm going to go over what this Raw was that got him completely uh, uh, upset. So let's start out with, oh yeah, they do a fucking coin toss to figure out who's going to be the main event. It's Bobby Lashley, and it ends up being Braun Strowman. Like, how cheap can you go to determine a main event by just doing a simple coin toss? And
Wait,
Braun
that was
was,
a legit coin flip? Isn't that for like football games and shit?
yeah, absolutely. They think it's the Super Bowl now, even though the Super Bowl was like 3 months ago. Yeah, I don't get it either. Oh,
It's
and,
just
and Steve
embarrassing.
It's Steve Pierce and Sonny Deville, and they're at odds right now, John, because Adam Pierce is trying to do the right thing, and Sonny is doing all these sadistic, evil stuff behind him, or something like that. Because she's the heel, Taz. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those co-general manager stuff. Didn't we have something like that back in the day with two different co-general managers that was a heel and baby face team?
I
I know
I
it was like
think,
Eric
but
Bischoff.
The difference is the women back then were actually women wrestlers versus I don't get what they're doing with the women's division now. If it's even considered a women's division, it's just bad.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, the show starts and AJ Styles and his, I guess, bodyguard almost are just being ridiculous. Oh, we're tag team champions. I'm now a Grand Slam champion. And then apparently it looks like the New Day come in and just be fucking gay. And what a great way to start the show with the new gay and AJ Styles and Omos. I know that a lot of Smart Buster fans actually don't mind Omos. I know Righty doesn't, but I don't know. I need to see a picture of Omos. Maybe we should do a WWE roster review.
Does he wrestle? Because he's literally like a very generic. He's a very generic black guy character who literally looks like on Create a Wrestler. If you just do the 6-7 foot Create a character and scroll through the filters, yeah.
Okay, I'm just going by what I'm seeing on like the roundup or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, they had an exchange, the New Day and AJ and Omos. So of course, that leads to a Raw Tag Team Titles match, where of course we have AJ Styles and Omos actually winning. Who gives a shit? I don't really know where this is going to go. I don't know why the New Day keeps getting pushed. I mean, this is going on for how many years now? 6 years? I haven't even liked them until they started. Well, I did think they were okay until they started doing the unicorn bullshit, but
oh yeah, and the Bootio cereal and the unicorn orange.
Tossing up pancakes. My God,
that was awful.
At least Big E is gone from there, but I don't even think at this point people will take him seriously because he's on SmackDown as a baby face, but I think he still has yet to get all the stank from that. Jesus
yeah, that he went from the sadly more popular brand to the lesser known brand, which is somehow considered the A show or whatever, but they both suck.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, more bullshit. Oh, so this is where we get a vignette for Eva Marie. She's back after what, 4 years?
I honestly didn't even know she was gone.
Yeah, she was gone. She was going to be doing some sort of movie career, I believe. So I don't know. I think she wasn't getting any success, so she came crawling back to Vince, and he decided to give her a job. I will say, though, she got a lot of views on YouTube when she was around, especially when she mistakenly unhooked her wrestling top. So who knows what's going to happen from there.
Of course, that I'm sure that was probably top 10 at some point in YouTube history.
Yeah, of course, we have to have a tagline for our female wrestlers too, and this time she's calling herself the Evolution. Apparently, the Evolution is coming soon.
Oh God.
Yeah. And then, of course, we got some diva shit with Charlotte Flair and Dana Brooks. I know. I don't know if you heard this, but apparently, Charlotte Flair did a lot of like plastic surgery, so she doesn't look so manly-ish. Apparently, she did some pics that she was supposed to be looking sexy in it too, but no, she still looks like Rick.
Yeah, but I can put a wig. I can put a female wig on a dude. It's still going to be a dude, so I don't get what they did with her.
Oh, just look on Google for that stuff. It's she's trying to look sexy, but no, honestly. And Andrade is out there trying to cover her ass too, saying no, she didn't get plastic surgery. No. But no, she took on Dana Brooke. She beat Dana Brooke. Who the fuck cares? And then I guess she's still on again. She was with Sonya Deville, who's the heel co-general manager, and she was saying, "You need to inject me into the Rhea Ripley Asuka title match at WrestleMania Backlash." Remember, I told you that it's now called WrestleMania Backlash.
Oh God!
I mean, honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. But
I don't see the point.
That stuff was gay. I don't even know why Rhea Ripley was shot straight up like a rocket to get the women's championship belt, but I'm just listening to the smarks, man. It honestly is. But yeah, it happens, and of course, all three of them get into a big fight and everything like that. It's so bad. And then there's a match with John Morrison and Damian Priest. Damian Priest is one of those call-ups that came before WrestleMania that was fighting with The Miz. And I think he was with Bad Bunny too. Just another.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Just more.
Is he even still around, or is he gone?
Who?
Bad Bunny.
Oh, Bad Bunny's gone.
Oh, good.
That's done after WrestleMania.
There was something I saw where Cardi B gave the okay clear to that if WWE wants to bring her up, then she'll go.
Of course she's going to return. They did foot stomping, and now she's like, okay, I'll do your fucking show. It's probably going to be like a tag match with Sasha Banks, because Sasha Banks looks pretty close to her anyway.
It'll be her, Banks, and Belair in a triple threat versus Dana Brooks, Charlotte, and some other generic blonde.
Oh, yeah, because now it's such a weird thing. The Smarts don't like blonde-haired women anymore. They like the fluorescent colored bitches, and
yet they put all this effort into making Bliss look like friggin' Harley Quinn, so...
Oh my god, now it's getting to really horrible levels, because now they're trying to make her like some sort of horror character, but yet she's not associated with Bray Wyatt anymore. So what? I don't understand that at all. We also, so you know how the Hurt Business is now done, like Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander are no longer working with MVP and Bobby Lashley.
I heard of that, yes.
Yeah, they were like the best thing that was on Raw for a while. I think they're only around for half a year, yet they broke up right before WrestleMania, when that was like the worst time to do it.
Of course, that makes total sense. Break up the only good thing happening with the worst possible timing.
Well, get a load of this. Cedric Alexander and Shelton were facing the Lucha House Party with Grand Metalik. Sometimes I forget how to pronounce it. I think I did it the first time around. But yeah, the Lucha House Party beat them, and then Cedric Alexander is like, "Oh, you're an old man. I don't want to be around you anymore. I'm going on my own." So that jobber tag team is now no longer. So Shelton Benjamin is probably just going to be like another on like a jobber show. I think Main Event's still around. He'll be a regular on that.
Great, and bring up Charlie Haas for one time so there can be a reunion.
I actually heard somewhere that Charlie Haas is kind of sort of coming back into the limelight. I think he did some sort of podcast with Kurt Angle. I don't know about that, but I did hear, I think I saw a picture of him recently. He looks nothing like he did back then. I think he shaved his whole hair, and he kind of looks like he was in jail for a while. But yeah, Team Angle was something I did kind of enjoy. Not the Nathan Jones and Matt Morgan, that whole faction stuff, but Haas had the mic skills. Shelton Benjamin had the wrestling skills. I didn't really think he had the greatest of mic skills, Shelton Benjamin, but it is what it is, honestly. What more? Sorry. I think I had this before the show ended, but then we just had cruiserweight shit. It was not much to say right there. Oh, yeah. So you heard about Matt Riddle and Randy Orton also becoming a tag team.
Yeah, and him hugging him after the match, and
oh my god, how does Randy Orton go from like being the hottest heel in the business, having beating the Legend Killer again for a year, and then having a somewhat okay storyline with Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, even though that kind of sputtered near the end, and now they're pairing him up with Matt Riddle. What the
I
hell is
don't.
wrong with you, Randy? What
Is
the
there supposed to
fuck?
be like passing the torch and having like a
Oh
legend
my
with
god.
up and coming, or like? Ugh.
No, I really hope not, because Matt Riddle is like the worst thing going on in the WWE right now. Seriously, but anyway, they have a match with Elias and Jason Ricker. You want to talk about wasted talent? There's Elias right there. And of course, Randy Orton and Matt Riddle win that one. But I don't know. I thought that this was going to be like Randy Orton would tease something, but then he would like turn on Riddle right afterwards, and they have a match where Matt Riddle can never be seen again. But I guess that's not going to happen. This is probably going to be the worst tag team that Randy Orton ever had. And I don't even remember him being in any bad tag teams throughout his career. Have you?
Not that I can remember. I mean, if there's a draft coming up, just imagine if they ended up Daniel Bryan and Riddle on the same show and they formed a tag team. That I think would be the worst possible thing.
Yeah. I think Dolph Ziggler is doing his own thing with Robert Roode. Because
Oh yeah, because there was a real point in bringing him back. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even know why Dolph Ziggler is even there. They're not going to do anything with him. Oh, and now Sheamus is doing an open challenge for the United States Championship like he's John Cena. I think he did this last week too. And he's facing some guy named Mansoor, who I have no idea at all who he is. But apparently it didn't take much for Sheamus to win. Actually, he won by disqualification. Because, of course, we have to let a guy like Mansoor not look weak at it.
So he accepted an open challenge and got himself disqualified.
Well, actually, it says here that Humberto Carrillo attacked out of nowhere. So that's why Sheamus won via DQ.
Oh, dear. More useless talent.
Yeah. And of course, speaking of Alexa Bliss, she did her own little playground segment. The description of this, I can't even say. It's just something about Lily, a doll that she has that's creepy looking, and all sorts of like Bray Wyatt-esque stuff, even though Bray Wyatt's nowhere to be found anymore. He hasn't been on the show in like 2 weeks after losing to Randy Orton at WrestleMania. So, honestly, I didn't mind Alexa Bliss before all this bullshit happened.
No, she was a generic blonde character, at least had appearance and sex appeal like a lot of the divas want. Didn't look like a man. Not terrible on the mic, but nothing special, and decent in-ring talent. And now it's Harley Quinn mixed with apparently elements of horror movies and rip-off Annabelle dolls.
Right. That's absolutely what it is. And I think that, it was kind of interesting at first, but now they've just kind of shit all over it and made it even worse. It's one of those too much of a good thing kind of approaches, and it's very, very ridiculous. Oh, we have a women's tag team match with Lana and Naomi and Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, because we could need more Nia Jax.
Why is she on all the time?
Because she's related to The Rock.
Great. That's just embarrassing on his part that they're pushing her, and the only reason is she's even on is because everyone had that big thing where she landed on the ring apron or whatever, and she said "my hole," and that turned into the big. Yep. And then everyone's like, that could be the next Austin 316, and I'm like, sadly, with today's crowd, they would make it that.
I think it was either her or Tamina, like the night after WrestleMania, there was a match where one of those two were in it, and they did like a botch where they slipped on the ring post because somebody in the Divas Battle Royal did that. It's kind of like when Titus O'Neil also slipped during a Royal Rumble, and he had to do that for a couple weeks afterwards.
That was great, though. He literally slid under the ring. It was wonderful. I actually enjoyed that.
But yeah. Oh, J-Rad 316 wants us to know that Mansoor was some jobber from 205 Live. So
Sheamus
Sheamus was basically just beating up a midget.
Great. So another guy who does flips, has no character, and is going to end up in TNA in a month.
Right.
Great.
Right. Exactly what it is. But my God.
Well, that he sounds like a ripoff of I think it's TNA has this freaking giant generic guy with like a bull or boar's head, and his name's like Black Taurus or something, and it's with Rosemary, and yeah.
Oh, is this current TNA?
I think it's current TNA. Yeah, it's unless he's been released, I haven't really checked. I haven't watched, but Black Taurus is some guy with Rosemary now and that group.
We're gonna review all these rosters, man. It seems this because there's a lot that we need to talk about. I'm pretty sure we can talk a lot more than the Smart Busters did and just do like hacky jokes and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna be very excited to see what we can come up with all these rosters. But yeah, in the main event, of course, it's Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, and of course, we got to have Lashley win right with a spear. But it was because Drew and Braun were getting into it as well, just arguing with one another in the ring. So that's why Bobby Lashley won off of distractions.
Wonderful. Why is Strowman still doing anything? He's made to look like a complete little bitch, and he's wimpy. And yeah, they made him literally look like he's the new Big Show, pretty much.
Yep. And this was right after. This was right after he did a feud with Shane McMahon going into WrestleMania, where he was pretty much getting embarrassed being called dumb and stupid and have green slime poured all over him. So, I mean, how can you go from being humiliated like that to being in the title picture? It makes absolutely no sense.
I just don't get what they're doing with him. They have no character direction. He's just now a big laughing stock. At least with Big Show, you know he's done stuff. He's been in main events. He's had titles. He's like a respectable athlete, no matter, even though he's had his crying gimmick. But like Strowman,
he had like a million different face and heel turns from even back to when he was in WCW.
Yeah, there's just Strowman sucks. He doesn't do it. He was, semi-interesting up until where the Wyatt family disbanded, and then it's like, okay, so he doesn't do anything now, and now he's just some giant big guy who gets bullied. It's like, wow, you're what, like close to 7 feet tall and 300 something pounds, and you're being made cry by some guy who's underweight and average height.
Honestly, the only time that people actually liked Braun Strowman, though, was when he was fighting Roman Reigns. When Roman Reigns was like being booed endlessly as a baby face. They just liked Braun because he hated Roman Reigns, and they were living vicariously through Braun during that feud.
I mean, I had hope when he came into the WWE that he'd amount to something, but at this point, he's just sucks.
No, and look how the tables turn. Now everybody loves seeing Roman Reigns as a heel. And speaking of which, with that, the Roman Reigns main event that he had with Daniel Bryan on Friday, it was supposed to be like a big Reigns draw, but only sunk the viewership from the week beforehand. So that should tell you exactly how much of a ring draw him and Daniel Bryan really are, honestly.
Well, that's the thing. There's nothing new any week. It's the same people in the same matches, or the same mix-up of the same 4 to 6 people every week, every show. Storylines that go nowhere. Storylines that just drop off and don't even like... There's stuff that they've talked about last week or the week before that just like they don't even ever mention again, and they expect people to forget. And I don't think I can really name... I can't even name 6 people I'd want for Elimination Chamber, because I don't even think there's 6 people worth being in it.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, I think I remember reading somewhere that Braun Strowman or someone like that said that there is some legit concerns about last-minute changes to Raw scripts. I think it just some sort of article. I'll have to send it to you after the show in regards to that. But yeah, this Raw doesn't seem all that much better than it has been since the beginning of the year, last few years, ever since the smart favorites kind of made things worse. But even though I'm not going to like. I got something that I want to do, and I think that next time we try something like this, I'm gonna actually watch the show to give you get better insight as to what happened. But yeah, there's not much you can say. I still want to do the AEW Blood and Guts live reaction if you're around. I know that they do a repeat of that. I think it's definitely late at night. I think 10 or 11 o'clock they do that. So maybe if you can, we can probably just watch the replay.
I probably can do that. Yeah.
Okay, because this is like prime rifting material that we can get from this, especially if it's not going to be as gory as the name makes it sound.
No, it's probably going to be nothing like a few cuts, a few scratches, or somebody gets a cut on their arm and they're going to be like, oh, they're busted open. There's so much violence, and it's going to be nothing.
Right. If they can do an explosion match where there's not an actual explosion, just a lot of sparklers, then I can see this being absolutely disappointing. And this is going to be, I think they said it was going to last a full 2 hours too, which is going to be pathetic. But hey, if Smarks want their long ass wrestling, then they're definitely going to get it with this one.
Yeah, and that's why we had to suffer through 2 nights of WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, I know.
2 nights of garbage, and main eventing the first night with 2 talentless people.
Oh yeah, Snoop Banks and Miss I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair back and forth.
Yeah, Willow Smith. Yeah, both garbage.
But yeah, so yeah, that's the Raw. I think that next time we'll do a better job. One of us will watch it, and we'll do
I'll try to watch it too. I don't think I've watched Raw consistently in years, but I'll try to watch it again. It's just so bad. It's not worth my time, but it might be worth it to make fun of it because it's just so bad at this point.
Yeah, just for this too, because I know that we can really like take it down a peg. I mean, we'll probably reminisce about better days ahead too in other videos, but yeah, this is gonna be fun to do. And to Bobby Hill, we'll probably have other frauds come in and do that stuff because I know that Sasha would love to see all the other Smart Buster fans that show up. But just prepare yourself too. All right, so that's about it, guys. We'll be back. We'll hopefully for Wednesday for Blood and Guts. But until then, see you later and take care.
Later.